Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Unfiltered podcast. Here we are, guys. I took a week off and I'm this week, so I'm not interviewing anyone. I don't have anything lined up for today other than a really, really cool topic that has actually been on my heart to talk about with you guys for a long time. And I think I want to title this podcast like maybe something like For the Dreamer or For the Entrepreneur or something like that. Because this podcast, what I really want to dive into talking about is all about chasing your dreams. So I think one thing is about this life is everybody wants to be successful, right? Like everybody has some sort of staple moment in their life where they're like, this is what I want to do. This is who I'm going to be. And so they kind of spend the rest of the time that they live on this earth trying to fight for that image, whether it be a body image, whether it be a social status, whatever image they created to say, this is who I want to be, this is who I want to be defined as. They spend their time really investing in that image of that person or who they want to be. And I know that's true for me in my life. I have specific goals. I have specific visions. Maybe this podcast should be called something like For the Visionary. I don't know. But I know for one thing is that lots of people that I meet, almost everyone that I've met, has this idea of success. What is success to them? And then they chase after that idea of what they define success as in their lives. And honestly, in that whole process of trying to define who you are, it's a lot to do with like who you're trying to be. Like what goals are you trying to reach? Goals is a huge one because without goals, we don't really reach, the end success point in our lives. And so goals help us get there. This podcast is for my self-driven people, but it's also for people who think, wow, like this is a super big vision of mine, but I could never start that, or I could never do that because that's just so far out of my league, so far out of my reach. Like it's just a dream, nothing but a dream. But this podcast is going to kind of talk about how dreams can become reality. Like you don't need to be the filthiest rich person on the, or however you say that. I don't even know if I said that right. But you don't have to have all the money in the world, essentially. You don't have to be filthy rich. That's what I was trying to say. You don't have to have a certain social platform or a certain social status to achieve your goals and your dreams. Maybe that's a part of your goal or a part of your dream, but in the end, I believe all goals, all visions start with a small dream. So today I want to talk to the entrepreneur because I believe that in this world today, it is really, really hard. It's easy, but then again, it's hard to start something from the ground up. And a lot of the times it's intimidating. It's like, dang, that would be great, but I really don't know about it. Like, I really don't know if I could. I really don't know if I should. Should I not? I don't know. I have this college degree. Did this just was it wasted money? Was it wasted time, now that I'm pursuing something on my own? Maybe even, creating that success story for you isn't essentially starting your own business. Maybe it isn't essentially doing your own thing. Maybe it's actually pursuing a career as far as maybe it's being a nurse, maybe it's being a doctor, maybe it's being a contractor, who knows? But I know for one thing that the road is hard for anyone with a vision, anyone with a dream. And so I just felt led this podcast. I all week I was like, ooh, what should I talk about on the podcast this week? Because I wanted something that could be a real encouragement. And then I also wanted to talk about something that I had kind of been struggling through in my own life. Like something that was like something that might be a little vulnerable for me that I might could just throw out there and say, hey guys, like I've been struggling with this and I need help just as much as anybody else. So, we all start and we have this idea of, okay, we have an idea, we have a dream, we have a goal. And I want to talk first to those people who have a dream and they have a vision, but they don't know where to go with it. And I think for you guys, first of all, I want to just say you're not alone, because for so many years I have had dreams and I've had goals. Even now, my dream is not a reality yet. Like, I'm living a wonderful life, I'm living a blessed life, but I still have a long way to go to get to where I'm trying to be. As far as my career path, as far as, I would love to get married. I would love to have a family of my own one day. I would love to raise children. I would love to have a successful business that I run myself. And I think all of those things are very attainable visions. They're attainable dreams, but it's just going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of patience. And patience isn't something that I necessarily naturally possess. So anyway, I want to start off talking about something in my life and kind of just sharing some of my own story today. A vision for me a long time ago was to run my own business, and I just always put it out of my mind. Coming out of college, I really didn't want to go to college. I was like, no, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what I'd study. Like, I really don't want to. But I ended up going to college because my mom really pushed for it, and I'm so glad I did. I used time in my high school kind of years well because I did dual enrollments. So I graduated college about 2 to 3 weeks after I graduated high school. And so it was great. I graduated with a ministry studies degree, full degree. I graduated with honors. But it was like after that, like, wow, the hype is done of like, okay, I'm in high school. I'm in high school. I'm, finishing up and then starting college. Like, all of my friends were going off to college, and here I was. I'd already graduated college. Yay. But for me, it was kind of like, oh, what to do now? Which is funny because the Lord always has a plan and always has a purpose. But a few weeks even after I don't even think I had graduated college yet completely. I think I was still working on a few classes, and God actually brought Jared into my life, which is my boyfriend. And that was a whole world rocker. Our whole relationship really was and has been thus far. But, it gave me new visions. Okay, now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I found the love of my life. I really want to start a family with him one day. I want to pursue that dream. And so for a while, it made me think, okay, money. And I think money is a huge thing. It's a huge part of, the world. It's how the world runs. You can't eat without it. You can't have a place to live without it. And so while I don't think we should be striving for money and that's all we're striving for, I believe it's a huge part of like what we have to live. So we need to use it wisely, and we need to know how to be wise and very discerning in how we make that money. And so I wanted something that I could do that I could also be successful and make a little extra money and make enough money to pay bills, the few little bills that I have. I wanted to be able to do that and support that by myself because, even though I am living with my parents right now, that's something that I have to be responsible for doing as an adult. And so I would just encourage you, no matter where you are in life, there are things that have to take first place. So if you have a dream, sometimes it's not logical to forsake everything, sell all of your furniture, get on a plane, fly to Hawaii and live that dream. Like, sometimes that's just not, logically possible. But what I'm saying is there is such a thing called baby steps, and you can take baby steps to get to your dream. So my dream, it just didn't like come to me like, oh my gosh, like this has been my dream ever since I was 2 and for this specific business, and that's what I'm going to do. But God really did lay a business idea in my lap, and so I've been really trying to get that started. And at first, I was really scared. Like, for probably about 2 months, I was like, should I do it? Should I start this business? Everyone was telling me, oh my gosh, you just got a degree, go use it. And if you don't know where to use it, then go maybe think about getting a second degree. Maybe think about going back to college. Maybe, work for this place and work for that place. And so I knew all along that I really wanted to be defined as like an entrepreneur. I just had that mindset. I'm very self-driven. I have lists every day. I never fail. I make a list before I get up out of the bed, and it contains like drink coffee, like go get a shower, like get yourself dressed. I mean, I'm just a very like list oriented person, and I like to have a plan, and I like to know what's going on and what I'm doing. Some people aren't like that. I know for me, my boyfriend, he isn't really like that. I mean, he's very like, he's not messy or sloppy. Like, he's very neat and orderly, and he always gets what he needs to get done in a timely manner. But he's just not like a list person. I mean, I guess he keeps a mental list. I don't know. But like, he wouldn't really be the type of person to like write out a specific list of, today I am washing my hair. Like, no, he wouldn't do that. Where I would actually write that on my list, because that's how crazy I am. But anyway, so, different people, they work in different ways, and I believe that wholeheartedly. So I don't say like there's one specific, like if you make this certain list, you're going to achieve this certain goal and it'll help you get to where you need to be. It's not really what I'm saying. Kind of what I'm saying is there are two different types of, not even two, I'm not even going to categorize it. There are so many different types of people and so many different types of personalities. And so when you're working to try to achieve a goal, you're all going to do it in a different way. So number one, when you are just starting, or maybe say you're scared to even start, don't compare your journey with the other person's journey next to you, because you're always going to end up feeling disappointed or feeling like you failed. And that is not the attitude or demeanor that we need to keep for ourselves. Number two is mindset. If you're going to do anything big, any goal that you're trying to achieve, you have to be in control of your mindset. And because if you're being an entrepreneur, if you're doing this thing on your own, nobody is going to be there to tell you, okay, good job. You're not going to always have positive encouragement. I love positive encouragement. That's my love language. I feed off of words of affirmation. It's the best thing ever. And so I try to give that to other people, but it's not always going to happen that way. Like, not everybody's going to want, not everybody's going to give that to you, if you know what I mean. Number three, I would say, if you're not self-driven, and if you're trying to start something on your own, you have to have that drive. Even if you're not a list maker, make a list of goals for yourself. You can't get from point A to point B without, a progression to that. Maybe you're good with thinking in your head and you have kind of like a formulated plan, but nothing is ever done without a plan and without a goal or a map to achieve the goal. You know what I mean? So I would say take the time to draw it out. Take the time to say, okay, who am I now? Where am I now? Where is my business now? Where is my dream right now? And what are the little steps that I have to take to make that dream a reality? Maybe it's finishing school. Maybe like that's the first big step you have to take. Take it, Don't look back. Maybe it is finishing a degree. Maybe it is working hard on your side job to get X amount of money in the bank so you can even think about launching it, because you have to start somewhere. I know for me, I've had to do a resale business for a while before I can launch the business that I'm trying to do right now, the business that I'm working on, because I have to have that initial income in the bank in order to get to where I'm going. And it's taken a while, like several months. I started this probably, I'd say like maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And I know that seems like not a long time, but it's been a lot of work. Like every day I've worked on it, and I've worked really hard. And so along with the words of affirmation, you have to keep a good mindset. Every day you have to get up out of the bed and you have to tell yourself, this is my purpose. This is my goal. This is what I'm going to work for. This is what I'm working towards. I can't give up on that. I would say also, as far as, keeping up that encouragement, keeping up that self-demeanor, that mindset is so big. You also have to have, assets to take a break for a while. Like, if you're striving so hard and you're getting so burnt out, that's not good. You have to keep your dream alive for yourself. You have to keep your business plan alive for yourself. If it's getting boring to you, if it's getting old to you, change it up. Do something different. When you're doing something yourself, the world and the sky is your limit. You can do whatever you want to do. Don't forget that there are so many resources online. I think our fire alarm just went off. Please hold. I hope I did. Hi. I did burn cookies, but it's fine. I'm notorious for that. That's a goal of mine. Become a better cook for my future husband, period. Anyway, but what was I saying? Oh yes, I was talking about being burnout. Ironic. But if something gets old, if something is just getting monotonous to you, you are not obligated. If you are starting something from the ground up, if you're really being an entrepreneur, you're not obligated to stay with that one thing. Change it up. Make change for yourself. Make it fun. Something that I would say, my dad always said this, and he even said this to me last night, and it kind of just sparked my thoughts about this whole podcast, because he said, do what you love to do. And he was talking about, like, that was one of the biggest mistakes he had made in his life, was he just really didn't do what he loved to do. He really didn't start off with doing that, and so now he's stuck in a job that he can do well, but it's not necessarily something that he just loves to do. And so I think that's a big one. Make sure what you're doing is something that you love to do. I was talking about resources. There are so many resources out there for us to just at our fingertips. Like, get on Google, research it. You can learn whatever you want to learn, and you can practice it and be well at it and do good at it. You can even make money at it, which is kind of what I'm trying to do right now. And it takes a lot of patience, and it's kind of scary when you're doing something or you're working to achieve a goal, and you are not guaranteed that what you're doing or the effort that you're putting in it is going to turn out. And you're not really sure that you're not really 100% positive. I mean, you have nothing to put bank on, It's not like working a 9-to-5 job and knowing that you're going to get that paycheck at the end of the week, because it's not as reliable. I mean, you're working for yourself. You're starting something for yourself. That's what being an entrepreneur is all about. And I think in the process of that, we have to remember to have faith. And I think faith is a huge part of dreams, because we have to have faith in our dreams, but we also have to know who we place our faith in. And I think for me, something that has been a super big eye-opener is, over the years, things that I've tried to start that I just have a feeling it really isn't from God, but it's just a good idea and I just really want to do it, so I'm just putting all my efforts into it, all of my resources. In the end, it's really sad. It never turns out well. I always end up spent. I always end up broke, and I always end up with nothing to show for it. And so I just would say, pray over what you're doing. Truly pray over it. Truly take it to God. Whatever it is, if it's that next interview, if it is that next big purchase for your business that nobody's going to know about, but it's just such a big deal for you. I know that happened today. Today I made probably the biggest purchase that I could make for my business. And it's one of these staple things. I can't do what I'm going to do without this piece of machinery. And it was huge for me, because I'm thinking in the back of my mind, oh, what if I buy this and it doesn't turn out, and then I wasted all of this good money that I've worked so hard for. But you have to take those leaps of faith, and you have to really trust the process. And I think part of that is, yes, goals, is, keeping your mindset encouraged, having the right resources you need, being a good and wise dictator of your time. But almost the biggest thing is just making sure that's exactly what God wants for you. Because we can have really, really good ideas, and we can think, oh, we're going to do this really great thing and it's going to turn out amazing. But if it's not what God has for you, then you're really just wasting your time, and you are wasting your resources that He's given you. So before you start anything, I would advise just from experience. Like, I know I don't have much experience, but I've had 20 years of experience, and I have done so many things, like chased so many rabbit trails in that time. And in all of that, I can say the things that I did pray about and the things that I was sure of, like, I know this is going to work. I know this is going to be a good thing. But I didn't pray about it. It was never a good thing. And things that I might not have been as sure about, but I knew it was what the Lord was calling me to do, those things have turned out wonderfully. And I haven't looked back since. And so all of this to say, if you need some encouragement, here I am. And the road is not easy. The road is hard. But as a fellow entrepreneur, I am on the journey with you. And we can't give up. We can't give up on those dreams, no matter what your dream is. If it's not, maybe it's just getting married and raising a family one day. Maybe it is, buying that next thing that you want for your house, right? And you have to work really hard for it. And maybe it's a remodel or something. Whatever it is, whatever goal or dream that you have, it's going to take work. It's not going to be handed to you, and you have to make sure that it's worth the work to you, and that the outcome is worth it to you. But after that, after you make sure like that's what God wants you to do and you feel led to do that thing, don't let the world stop you. The world is so negative. And a lot of people in the world, whether they want to admit it or not, they don't want anything good for anyone else but themselves. And they're so jealous and so bitter, and it eats at them, and it's contagious. And I think something for us is to always remain generous as well. We have to realize that what we've been given, it's a lot of hard work, yes, but God is the giver of all good gifts. And so we cannot become greedy with what God has given us, but we in turn have to turn right back around and give it to others. And I think with those things, with that mindset, with that ability to work hard and set those goals for yourself and really achieve, you're going to be able to do whatever you want to do. And so don't give up on your passions. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your goals. And I'll see y'all at the end of the line. Love you guys.